Welcome to 805 Focus. I'm Dr. Sandra Sinclair with Nonprofit Connect, and we will be bringing you the latest on your favorite nonprofits, so get ready to be inspired. Our special guests today are Teresa Alvarez and Jessica Ramirez with Carpinteria Children's Project. Welcome to our show.
Hi, thank you, Cinder, for having us. We're so excited to be here.
Yes, I'm so glad you're here. And Teresa, you're the executive director.
Right.
And Jessica, you're the
Director of Family Services.
Director of Family Services. All right, I want to make sure we get that right. You folks have a big story to tell. Oh my word, there's so many things going on. It's a fabulous program in the first place and unique, and yet you have an extra layer going on these days. So, Teresa, maybe you could start by just giving us a sort of an overview of Carpinteria Children's Project and how it's unique in the way that you serve children and families.
Sure. So the Carpinteria Children's Project has been around since 2009, and we started under the Carpinteria Unified School District as a program of the school district. And we really wanted to focus on family engagement and early education. We wanted to set up the children for success from the very beginning. And from 2009 to 2016, we were all school district employees. And in 2016, we made the decision to become a 501c3. It just made more sense for us and for the school district. So we've been operating as a nonprofit since 2017. So a little bit about CCP. We really serve as a hub for the community with our focus on getting kids ready for school. But we understand there's so much more that is needed to make that happen. So through our Family Resource Center, which Jessica leads, we partner with the families to get them the resources that they need and support the kids through early education. In a nutshell, I'm sure we'll talk a lot more.
Right, we'll talk about more, but golly, you're right. Getting the kids ready for school is a big deal, so important and complex.
Right.
Because they're part of a family, and the family is part of the community,
Yes.
and on and on and on. And so I know we'll hear more about that. And so, Jessica, tell us about what's going on in your area these days.
So as the Director of Family Services, I lead our Family Resource Center, and our Family Resource Center is for the whole community. So we obviously work with the families who are in our early childhood education department, but our reach is much larger than that, and we really provide a holistic approach to family support. We know that if the parents are, struggling with anything, whether that's mental health or housing or food insecurity, then the children are not going to be at their best when they show up to school. And the teachers definitely see that in behaviors and just different challenges. And so we really try to assess, the 5 protective factors, making sure that the families have everything they need to thrive. And we do that through case management, parenting classes, we do health screenings. We have different partnerships and different collaboratives with different partners throughout the county. So we're a part of the Pediatric Resiliency Collaborative, where we partner closely with our local healthcare clinic to screen for adverse childhood experiences. And once those families score particular number of points, they get referred over to us, and we can connect them to all of the support services that are needed. In a gist, that's kind of what we do, but as we kind of shared, it's a lot more right now. We're having to fill a need that, it has been pretty difficult with everything regarding immigration, and our undocumented community has been struggling a lot. We actually started really fitting this need back in December. So before this administration came into office, because we were already receiving families coming into our office just sharing how fearful they were. They didn't want to apply for Medi-Cal, in fear of their information being out there and them being retaliated. They weren't wanting to go to the store to get groceries. They were not going to work. So we started providing information, and we partnered with a few partners in Carpinteria, like the Carpinteria Community Library, to provide our first forum of Know Your Rights back in December.
Great.
Yes. So in that forum, we had the 805 UndocuFund Executive Director Primitiva Hernandez, as well as Julissa Peña from the Santa Barbara Legal Defense Center, and an immigration attorney, Marisol Alarcón, just really just give the community information on their rights, how to protect themselves. And granted, at this point, it was December, so we really didn't know what it was going to look like in January when the administration came into office. But it was a huge need, so we wanted to just bring that information out anyway.
Yeah, you got more than you bargained for, I think. Gee whiz.
Yes, we did. And, since then, we've just continued to provide more resources for our undocumented community. So at this point, we've done 3 Know Your Rights forums. We've done an event called Manos Unidas, or United Hands, where we invited over 10 organizations who serve the undocumented community with different resources, financial assistance, legal support. They all came to our center. We had funding to provide food, so we had a taco truck there. And, they were able to get free legal advice, letter notarizations at no cost. They were able to just get information on how to sign up to receive alerts for when, immigration is out, doing detainments or raids, things like that. So we were really able to support a lot of families in that way. And that kind of still continues. Our partnership with the 805 UndocuFund and their Rapid Response Network. A few of our staff members are volunteers there, so we're pretty regularly responding to, sightings to either confirm them or, say it's clear, there's no threat. And yeah, we've just kind of been trying to do our best to fit the need, but it's a different, I think, area that we hadn't been used to.
Yes.
So it's been taking a lot of mobilization and partnerships because we don't want to duplicate services, and we really just want to work together as a community to protect our community.
Well, gosh, hooray for you guys for being so responsive. I mean, Teresa, when you were talking about how you serve families in addition to the kids, but whole families, I mean, that's one thing. That's complex enough.
Right.
And then when you add this extra layer, wow.
Yeah, I think it's stretched the staff pretty thin, but CCP was always addressing the needs of the community. I think that's one of the roles that it also plays is sort of being this community resource and a safe space for families to go to. We did this when the mudslides happened and the fires, the pandemic. We were handing out masks and doing vaccination clinics. And so now with this affecting our community, there isn't another nonprofit that is able to serve this type of need. So we partner with the Boys and Girls Club and Girls Inc. in town, who are the 2 other larger nonprofits, and who have a pulse on what families need the support. So the day after, there was a large event in Carpinteria that affected our undocumented community, we got together and came up with a plan so that we aren't, like Jessica was mentioning, duplicating services and are catching all of the families that we can together.
Yeah, I'm just so impressed with the degree of collaboration that you're just working with everyone for the benefit of the families, the kids, and the community.
Yeah, we're definitely, as cliche as it sounds to say, stronger together, and we can only do so much. Our team is a team of 5, and
5?
The whole on Jessica's team, and the rest of the team, we have 28 employees. So it's not, and most of those are teachers. So they're focusing by serving the kids in the classroom.
Yeah.
And so I think through this whole experience, it's been great that CCP has been a constant in the lives of children and families, where they can continue to bring their kids to a safe place, where we're still providing enriching activities like music, and we partner with Wilderness Youth Projects to take the kids out on adventures. So at least it's a reprieve for the kids and for the parents, because they can focus on, maybe something that's come up for them on the legal side. While their children are being taken care of, for those that are enrolled in our program.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And all this time, you've built up so much trust.
Right.
With the
Yeah.
parents and all the families.
Yeah, and I think a key part of that has been our involvement with our promotoras as well in the community.
Yes,
who are,
that's such a great program.
trusted messengers and have really, are boots on the ground, have the connection to the families that we're serving. And, they've been a part of CCP from pretty much the beginning. So That's really been helpful. And I think the way that we partner with all of our different organizations, both in Carpinteria and in Santa Barbara.
So I know a lot of people are seeing what's going on, well, everywhere, but particularly in Carpinteria most recently, and asking, oh gosh, how can I help? What can I do to help? Well, of course, what first comes to my mind is I know that you're a 501c3, as you mentioned, a nonprofit, and so people can go to your website, I'm sure, and make a contribution, a financial contribution, and that's very helpful and welcome.
Yes.
What other ways can people help? If somebody came to you and said, well, gosh, I want to do something, what can I do to help?
Yeah, so thank you for mentioning our website. We do have a new website. People can donate there. And it's a blessing, I think, too, that right now Carp Children's Project, and for most of its history, has been funded by individual foundations or family foundations and individual donors. So we haven't been affected by some of the federal cuts as much as other organizations have. We have a lot of community support, which has also allowed us to be nimble and address the needs as they come up.
Yeah.
So we are very grateful to all of our supporters. And on the website, they can donate to different things that they're interested in. So if someone is very interested in early education, they can make a contribution that's restricted to that, or to the Family Resource Center, or to the fund that we started to support undocumented families called the Helping Hands Fund, which Jessica mentioned. So they can do that on the website, but they can also volunteer. So there are different opportunities throughout the year. Right now, people have really come and sort of put their arms or figurative arms around CCP and wanting to support in whatever it is that we need to support our undocumented neighbors. But parents or people can volunteer in the classroom. Some parents do that. They can also volunteer at our food bank, which happens monthly. And right now, we're needing support with volunteers to, like we were saying, support the undocumented community. So I don't know if Jessica wants to talk a little bit about that.
So a person can go on your website and find out how to volunteer, who to call, all
They
that.
can sign up to volunteer
they
on
can
our
sign up. Okay,
website,
great.
and there is a form that will ask them what it is that they're interested in. And so they can put that information there, and then we'll reach out.
Okay.
Yeah, depending on what their interests are.
So Jessica.
Yeah, so as Teresa shared, we received an overwhelming amount of support from the community, just wanting to help in whatever way they can. So we did start our Helping Hands Fund because we had community members saying, people need food, people need help, like, can we donate to you to do that? So we started that fund, and we are currently serving over 48 families with groceries and essentials deliveries to their homes. So we have volunteers helping doing shopping and then the actual drop off to the homes. And in addition to that, we've been able to support families with financial support, whether that's with rent or utility bills. And it's been really helpful. I think families are very hesitant to just give their information right now.
Oh, of course.
And so the fact that we have that fund available with us, and they trust us, and they know that their information is protected, they're more willing to accept the support. So as far as volunteers, we've had a lot of support, but I would say if anyone out there just wants to help in any way they can, reaching out to the 805 Undocu Fund and the Immigrant Rights Coalition. They're really just the boots on the ground out there, really trying to protect the community. As I shared, a few of our staff are part of that network, and they just need more eyes on the road, reporting if something looks suspicious, knowing what those vehicles look like.
Yeah.
A lot of these families rely on notification and alerts, and they check their phones before leaving their homes to make sure that, there's no threat. And so we just really need more eyes on the roads, because oftentimes we don't know until after the fact.
Oh, gosh.
These events happened, and, by that time we can report what happened, but it's a little hard to actually be there and hopefully advocate for, the person being stopped.
Yeah.
So really just reaching out to the supports that are already out there and becoming part of the networks, I think, is a really big way to make an impact right now.
Yeah, it's so great that you're collaborating with so many organizations and groups.
Yeah, it's been really helpful because I think everyone's working not only on their own mission, but are trying to meet the different needs of the community. And we're glad that we can do that for Carpinteria, while also continuing to run a preschool with almost 80 children. So there's definitely a lot to do. It's never a dull moment, but we have really been blown away by the community support, like Jessica was mentioning, the support from our board, and us being able to be flexible and do what we feel is best for the community. We, also have been focusing on the healing of the community because these events have been really traumatic. And I think even for myself as an immigrant and for a lot of our staff who are immigrants themselves, taking that time to really pause and reflect, and because we also need to take care of ourselves, to take care of the families and children that we work with. And Jessica and her team just had an event, and it went really well. It was really well received, and I think it provided that opportunity for healing for the community.
Yeah. That is great.
Yeah, so the event was called Healing Together, or Sanando Juntos, and it was in partnership with Clinicians for Change, which are clinicians in Santa Barbara County, just really mobilizing to provide the support that's needed right now for families impacted by everything immigration enforcement. And so what they did was create a space for these families to learn about what trauma is, what signs to look out for, what it looks like. I mean, it looks different in everyone's body, and it feels different in everyone's body. Learning coping mechanisms, how to speak to their children about it. And then there was also time for just community conversations. And it was really amazing just seeing the families who were directly impacted, just being so vulnerable and sharing what they've been going through, what they've been experiencing. I think the power of storytelling is so strong. It inspires me and inspired everyone else to make a second event, and they're ready for that second event. So especially I think for the Hispanic and Latino community, mental health is such a stigma, and it's not talked about as much as it should be, and I think it's gotten better. But just even hearing at that event yesterday, men sharing, I've never talked about this before, but I'm going to do it. And so I think that's very brave, and I'm very happy that we're able to provide these type of supports for the community.
Yeah.
This is great. So how do families how do kids come to your school? How does anybody know that you're there and, I have a child that could go to the school? Do you take referrals, or do people just know about it? Only word of mouth? How do you?
I think it's a combination of a lot of the things that you mentioned, but it's been mostly word of mouth. The Carpinteria community is so small and so close-knit. We have about 75% of our students are students of color, and the families, we're talking about trust and having a safe space. The families are talking about that, and we're providing experiences for that the whole family can participate in, the whole community can be a part of. So mostly word of mouth. We also have our newspaper, the Coastal View News, which a lot of the community reads, and we, occasionally will put ads in there. Our board members are big champions. 2 of the board members are parents themselves, or had gone through the program, so they help us get the word out as well. And we have a strong partnership with the Carp Unified School District, and they help us get the word out to their families. And there's about a little under 2,000 students in the school district. So they're getting it in different ways, but I think the most powerful is from a friend referring another friend about where they took their child.
Yeah, that is great. And so, when a child finishes their time at the school, then they learn the things that preschoolers would learn, and I would imagine they become more proficient in English. They become acquainted with their peers. They are prepared for school by understanding classroom procedure and all those things, so that they come ready to participate.
Yeah, and that is definitely the goal. We want the children to have an experience that mirrors or is very similar to what kindergarten or transitional kindergarten would be. So they do learn all of those things. And at Carp Children's Project, we have a dual language program. So for the kids that speak Spanish, or for the families that want their children to speak Spanish, we are exposing them to that language as well.
Great. Oh, what an inspirational story you have to tell. I mean, I feel like I could just sit here and listen to you all day long.
So
Well,
much more to share.
Yes. Thank you for all the important work that you're doing, all the lives you're touching, and thanks for coming on 805 Focus to share it with our audience.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. And thank you for joining us on 805 Focus, and we'll see you next time.